Hello students, I am Tulika Banerjee. Today I bring you the next learning episode in BSc Forensic Science on an important unit of paper, questioned document, that is secret writing. Let us have a look at the modules which we will be learning or studying today. Module 1 is regarding introduction. Module 2 is about the historical cryptography. Module 3 is war-driven cryptography in World War I. Module 4 is war-driven cryptography in World War II. Module 5 is regarding modern encryption methods part 1 and Module 6 is regarding the modern encryption method part 2. Module 7 is about steganography and Module 8 is the last module of this lecture, which is the conclusion. Module 1 Introduction. All the way through history, military had used secure communications through encryption of the data. It was in 1980s that the need for secure commercial and private communications had grown under the name of the information age. Internet and the World Wide Web is a platform that allows community to correspond information, mail, and commerce in a digital medium. This has caused an augment in the need for information security. Some of the important terms that are to be studied in this lecture are: first is cryptography. It is the science of study of techniques used for secret writings in addition to message hiding. It is also as specific as modern encryption used to secure transactions made across the digital networks. It includes any method wherein someone attempts to conceal a message or content or information in some medium. Next is encryption. It is a constituent of cryptography in which one conceals data or information by converting it into non-readable format. Encryption uses a particular key or a parameter to perform the desired data transformation. Decryption is considered as a reverse method of the encryption. Decryption of the encrypted data leads to the original data. Next is cipher. A cipher is an algorithm, process, or a method for carrying out encryption and decryption. A cipher has predetermined steps that are followed to achieve encryption and decryption. The function of a cipher depends mainly upon the use of the encryption key. Next we have the cryptanalysis. Cryptanalysis is the process or method used to transform or interpret the secret writings as codes and ciphers for which the decryption key is mysterious. As the methods for encryption has developed through time, the methods and techniques for cryptanalysis have evolved through time. Throughout history, many countries had employed special divisions dedicated especially for cryptanalysis. Within the last century, governments have employed permanent divisions for the same purpose. Next, we have steganography. It is a form of cryptography that, instead of employing encryption, embeds the data into another medium in an unnoticeable way. Mediums used for steganography can range from picture, audio, and video files. It can also include web pages, communication protocols, data streams, and many more. Let us start with this module with the era of the ancient Egypt. The initial known text containing mechanism of cryptography originates in the Egyptian town Menet Khufu on the tomb of nobleman Numenhotep II, nearly 4,000 years ago. In about 1900 BC, Numenhotep's engrave drew master's life in his tomb. As he drew the hieroglyphics, he used a number of strange symbols which made difficult to understand the meaning of these inscriptions. This technique of encryption is an example of a substitution cipher, which is any cipher system which replaces one symbol or character for another. As the Egyptian culture progressed, hieroglyphic substitution became more common. This method of encryption was easy for people who could read and write. This figure shows the symbols taken from the tomb of Numenhotep II. Next is about the Greece. In the 500 BC, the Spartans developed a device called a scytale, which was used to mail and obtain secret messages. The device was a cylinder in which a fine strip of parchment was wound. The message was then written lengthwise on the parchment. Once it was unwound, the message on the strip of parchment became unreadable. To receive the message, an identical cylinder was desirable. It was only then that the letters would line up, resulting in the original message. This scytale uses transposition cipher, which is a cipher system that changes the order of the characters instead of changing the original characters themselves. This figure on your screen shows the scytale Rome. The earliest recorded military use of cryptography was made by Julius Caesar 2000 years ago. Caesar devised a substitution cipher method in which he would alternate letters for different letters. This was developed because the messengers of the secret military were often overtaken by the rivals. In this technique, only those who knew the substitution used could decipher the secret message. Now, when the messengers were held in prison, the messages were not revealed, and this gave the Roman army a huge advantage during war. This figure shows the example of a substitution cipher. Next is Alberti-Vigenere Cipher. During the mid-1400s, a man named Leon Battista Alberti invented an encryption system using a cipher disk. This was a mechanical device with sliding disks that allowed for many different methods of substitution. This is the base theory of a polyalphabetic cipher, which is an encryption method which switches through a number of substitution ciphers throughout the encryption. In his book, The Code Breakers, David Cahan calls Alberti the father of Western cryptography. In Cahan, 1967. Alberti never developed his cipher disk concept. This figure shows the cipher disk. In the 1500s, Blaise de Vigenère, following Alberti's polyalphabetic cipher style, formed a cipher that came to be acknowledged as the Vigenère cipher. The Vigenère cipher works accurately like the Caesar, except that it changes the key throughout the encryption process. The Vigenère cipher uses a grid of letters that give the method of substitution. The grid is called a Vigenère square or a Vigenère table. The grid is made up of 26 alphabets offset from each other by one letter. Next, we have the Jefferson wheel cipher. In the 1700s, Thomas Jefferson came up with a cipher system same as that of the Vigenère cipher, though it being highly secure. His invention consisted of 26 wheels with the alphabet randomly scattered on each wheel. The wheels were numbered and were given a specific order. This order was the key to encryption algorithm. Similar to Alberti, Jefferson never developed his encryption system. The message encrypted was made on the wheels and later were lined up such that the message is present. The ciphertext is any line except the line containing the actual message. The person decrypting the message must arrange the wheels in the proper order. As the ciphertext is arranged, the original message is lined up somewhere else on the wheels. There is very small possibility that two no gibberish messages will emerge on the disk during the decryption process. The figure on your screen shows the Jefferson wheel cipher. The first type that we have over here is the Zimmerman telegram. In early 1917, during World War I, British cryptographers discovered a German encoded telegram referred to as the Zimmerman telegram. Cryptographers deciphered the telegram, and with the deciphered message, they were able to convince the US to join the war. This telegram was a secret communication between the Foreign Secretary of the German Empire, Arthur Zimmerman, to the German ambassador in Mexico, Heinrich von Eckart. The telegram consisted of an offer for Mexico to reclaim its territory of New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona if it joined with the Germans. In spite of this offer, Mexico concluded that it has no interest to take over their former territories. The British gave the US the decoded telegram on February 24, 1917, and on April 6, 1917, the US officially declared war against Germany and its allies. This figure shows the encoded Zimmerman telegram on left and the decoded Zimmerman telegram on right. Next, we have the Choctaw Code talkers. During the World War I, the United States lacked secure communication, and hence Army Commander Captain Lewis organized a plan that used American Indian languages. He got 8 Choctaw men in his battalion and used their local language to talk over radio and phone lines. The codes based on a unique language needed to be studied extensively at that time to decode them, and hence made it difficult to decode. Within 24 hours of implementing this encryption method, the advantage fell in favor of the United States. Now we have the fourth module, that is war-driven cryptography in World War II. First, we have the Enigma encryption machine. At the end of World War I, Arthur Scherbius invented the Enigma, an electromechanical machine that was used for encryption and decryption of secret messages. The Enigma allowed up to 10 to the power 114 possible configurations. Because of the numerous configurations, the Enigma was considered to be virtually unbreakable with brute force methods. Due to Enigma's statistical security, Nazi Germany became overconfident about their ability to encrypt secret messages. This figure on your screen shows the Enigma encryption machine. Then we have the purple. Japanese developed an encryption machine where the Allied forces were busy in cracking Enigma and named it as Purple. Purple was made using stepping switches that were normally used for routing telephone signals. During the war, the Japanese were most efficient in destroying their encryption machines, and due to this, no single complete purple machine was ever discovered. This figure shows the purple encryption machine. Modern encryption part 1. In that, first we have the one-time pad. It was invented in the nearly 1900s and has since been proven as unbreakable. The one-time pad was derived from Random cipher. The Random cipher shared a message with a key read from a paper tape or pad. The unbreakable feature of the one-time pad was achieved by two assumptions. The key used is absolutely random and the key cannot be used more than one time. Then are the pseudo-random number generator. Numerous attempts have been made to create seemingly random numbers from a designated key. These number generators are called pseudo-random number generators or PRNGs because they cannot give a completely random number stream. PRNGs that have been designed for secure cryptographic use are called as cryptographically secure pseudo-random number generators. A symmetric key, or also called as private key encryption cipher, is any algorithm in which the key for encryption is specifically related to the key used for decryption. The key is shared to all the people who require the data. If an unintended person obtains right to use the key, he or she will have complete access to what is being secured by the encryption. Under it, first we have the asymmetric key encryption or the public key. In 1970s, cryptographers felt the need for a system that uses one key for encryption and another key for decryption, just to ensure that the information shared was safe. The system was known as asymmetric key encryption. In comparison to symmetric key encryption, the system had a key to encrypting and other for decrypting. The next one is Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange. The Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange is a cryptographic procedure that allowed two parties to establish a secure shared secret key with no former knowledge of each other. This was first published by Whitefield Diffie and Martin Hellman in the year 1976. A disadvantage of Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange is that it doesn't support encryption and a predetermined message cannot be inserted in the algorithm. The next type of encryption technique is the RSA encryption. As the Diffie-Hellman key encryption was unable to transmit a secret message, Ron Rivest, Adi Shamir and Leonard Adleman developed their own method that can embed a message and can be transmitted. The entire protocol is constructed from two large prime numbers. These prime numbers are then manipulated to give a public key and a private key. These keys can be used many times. Public key is used for encryption, whereas the private key is used for decryption. Only the one possessing the private key can decrypt the message and view all of its contents. RSA encryption is the most extensively used asymmetric key encryption system for electronic commerce protocols. Steganography is a form of cryptography that, instead of employing encryption, embeds the data into other medium in an unnoticeable way. Mediums used for steganography can range from picture, audio and video files. It can also include web pages, communication protocols, data streams and many more. There are two types of steganography techniques. The first one is steganographic embedding. This method includes the embedding of the secret message into a picture or another file. If the picture file with the embedding is seen there, would appear no difference between the picture before embedding and after embedding. If an analysis of the picture's binary codes are compared, then it would be evident that there has been a modification in the binary code of the picture. The inability to see precision in a given medium is the basis for steganography. Second, security through obscurity. Sometimes a secret message is put into an audio file. This makes little change to the audio file. The human ear is unable to identify this change. So in this way, secret message is put into an audio file and transmitted without changing or altering the audio file's size. This is where security through obscurity comes from. An encrypted message is easily identified as encrypted, and cryptographers can then work on decrypting it. In comparison, a message embedded into a picture, audio or else video file can be conveyed without being detected. Conclusion. Cryptography is the science of a study of techniques used for secret writings in addition to message hiding. Encryption uses a particular key or a parameter to perform the desired data transformation. Decryption is considered as a reverse method of encryption. Modern encryption part 1 includes the one-time pad, pseudo-random number generator, symmetric key encryption, which is the private key, and the modern encryption part 2 comprises of the asymmetric key encryption, which is the public key, Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange, RSA Encryption. This steganography is a form of cryptography that, instead of employing the encryption, embeds the data into another medium in an unnoticeable way. Mediums used for steganography can range from picture, audio and video files. Dear students, with this module of conclusion, our chapter comes to an end. I hope you all have enjoyed this chapter and gained valuable information regarding secret writing. I am sure you all have understood the central idea behind this module. Do keep in mind what we discussed today. I will be back with one more lecture in this series. If you want to learn more and enhance your knowledge, you may log on to our website www.cec.nic.in for MCQ, quizzes, LORs, etc. Make sure you revise the modules frequently so that you master the topic well and take up the exercises. Thank you for your time today. I'll see you in the next lecture. Keep learning, work hard and do revise the chapter. Goodbye.